Hi everyone, Dave Muskrat here, and I wanted to share with you a little bit about my nature name, Muskrat. Well, I actually got this name a long time ago. I was probably about maybe 8, 9, 10 years old, and my friends started calling me Muskrat. Well, it turns out that that name kind of fits, because I was at the time spending a lot of time swimming in the rivers near my home and in the lakes, and we fished a lot. We did a lot of exploring there in those river islands, and it turns out that muskrats like the water too. Muskrats are animals that are probably maybe like this big. They kind of look like a beaver, except they're smaller, and they don't have a big flat tail like a beaver that slaps on the water. They have a thin tail, kind of looks like a snake, that when they swim, they kind of use it as a rudder to help them steer. And muskrats, of course, are really good swimmers. They spend all of their time swimming, and they have these feet that have 4 toes in the front, and then kind of a little tiny thumb that doesn't usually show up in tracks, and then 5 toes in the back. And in between each of these toes is webbing, kind of like a flipper, and it helps them swim. They're super good swimmers. And muskrats, let's see, oh, they have these big teeth in the front, kind of like a beaver. They're called incisors. They're big and orange, and they use these teeth to help them chew plant material, or at least nip off plant material, because they like to eat cattail and cattail roots and arrowhead or arrowroot and a bunch of other water plants or aquatic plants. And they mostly eat plants. Sometimes they eat other things like clams or crayfish, but mostly plants. Oh, and here's what's really cool. Muskrats are really good builders. They have platforms that they build that sit on top of the water. They're called feeding platforms, and this is a place where they come to eat. So they'll dig up roots from a plant and swim all the way over to this feeding platform. I kind of think of them as kind of like tables, and the muskrats will climb up on top and sit up there and eat their food on top of this platform. And if they don't have a platform, they find a place that feels safe for them to eat on land, because they don't eat in the water. They also make muskrat houses, and they look like a really small beaver lodge, a pile of sticks and mud, and that's where they live. And every time they have young or babies, the mother builds a new room inside their muskrat home for them. So every time they have babies, they put a new room into there. It's super cool. So then they have space, and they can be protected from predators. Well, that's a little bit about muskrats. If you want to find a muskrat for yourself, I would suggest looking for a place that has slow-moving water, like a very slow river, or a pond, or a wetland. And look around the edges of the pond or wetland or water source for some muskrat tracks in the mud. And also look for some of those feeding platforms that might be out there in the wetland or marsh. They'll look like a big mound of vegetation or plant material. And you'll be able to find one. And if you're lucky, you'll be able to see one swimming. They're really fun to watch swimming. All right, friends. See you later.